Alright folks, this is Dan Tabar of Data Realms. I thought I'd do a little experiment here and actually show you guys how I implement a feature in Cortex Command, the game that I've been working on for quite a while now. So without further ado, let's bring up Visual Studio here. And this is the source to the game. I have on my plate today to implement the technology system, the technologies, techs, that used to be called the factions in the game. If you're a Cortex Command fan, you know that there's been different kind of factions in the game where there's a bunch of set of actors and weapons and ships and stuff that come down that belong to different groups. You know, they're kind of styles. So there's the clones, there's the dummies, and then there's the what would you call it? The white bots, and there's a whole bunch of them, and there's even way more in the mods that people made for the game. So what we need to make happen here today, or that I'm trying to make happen, is the getting the techs that we used to call factions. They're called techs now because it became really confusing in the meta game and the campaign when you're setting up a game. Let me actually show you. I'll just fire up the game. Yeah. And I'll show you exactly what I mean. This is the cool thing. I can show you exactly everything that goes on my little screen here. I do have a 3-monitor setup, but this is the main one in the middle that I'm looking at most of the time. So hopefully this is going to run and fire up CC. So this is what programming is all about. You're working in the IDE, as it's called. It's the what is it called? What does IDE stand for? It's Integrated Development Environment or something like that. And it's basically a glorified text editor that has a compiler and a linker and all the tools behind the scenes that actually build the program for you. And you just hit a button and it compiles the game if you don't have any errors in your code. Anyway, here's the game firing up. The frame rate is going to be shitty in the game because the screen capture software I use is making it go at 15 FPS, so it does go a lot faster normally. You see it's just chugging along. But I will go in and show you exactly. Actually, I'm going to go into the campaign and show you what I mean. Why we needed to change the name from techs to or from factions to techs. So here's the main reason. I was building this menu and I realized that this is going to get hella confusing when you're setting up first control. You know, like either you're a human, either one of these players is a human, an AI, or there's none. And that's fine. Then you have the team, and multiple players can be on the same team. So these two humans are on the same team now, and that's really cool. You cooperate against, you know, some AIs, for example, who might be on different teams, or they might be on the same team as well. So, but that's not where it gets confusing. It gets confusing when you start having factions in here, and factions is kind of synonymous to teams, I guess, and it just doesn't make sense that it would be control, team, and then factions, and then you'd select which faction each player is affiliated with. It would just be, I thought, very confusing. So I decided to make it into technologies instead, which is really what it is. You just select which is your native technology. So either you're the clones or you're the dummies, and that's what in the menus when you try to buy stuff later is what first will be presented to you as the main kind of thing you can get without having to pay a premium. So all the other, you can still buy all the other stuff that's in the game and stuff that you've modded and downloaded and so on, and when you're playing the campaign. But if it's not your own tech, then it's going to come at a high premium. So you can still buy that fancy gun that you love, or you know, that's exotic, of another tech. Why is there 2 slashes here? Okay, it says stuff like that. I mean, what the hell? I just noticed that. I'll have to fix that. And maybe I'll do that in this video, but let's do that right now, actually. Just try to find where that string is. So here, did I not need? Oh, this is, I'm using a escape character that is not. So I'm actually gonna, in this video, I'm gonna get into really. I'm just gonna be talking aloud. So I think that would fix it. I'm going to be talking aloud, and I'm going to show you everything. This is going to be a long video and very boring if you're not into programming at all, but I was thinking, you know, I'm going to do this work anyway, and I do talk to myself anyway all the time, so why not just kind of record it. And I don't know if you can hear the music. I'm playing music in the background, streaming it from the internet as I always do. I don't want to have to DJ it. And it'll be kind of a stream of consciousness thing where I'll just be talking to myself and recording it and making a little video, or a long ass video actually, of it. And let's see how I fix this problem. I can't believe I've been working on this campaign menu for years, and now, not years, but at least, oh, it's been a year plus at least. Notice that there's 2 slashes there. Okay, well, now it's 1 slash. I fixed that. Fantastic. That happens a lot. You're programming or you're just play testing and testing another thing, and then you just notice a completely unrelated, irritating problem, and you have to make a decision whether to go out and fix it or not at that moment, or try to write it down for later, and it's just then it'll annoy you and come back later and you'll forget and all that stuff. So it's important to either have a good bug tracking solution, or just do things right away, but then you get distracted and you don't finish the feature that you're actually working on that was more important. So all kinds of decisions you have to make as a programmer. Anyhow, where were we? Techs, factions, right. So tech, this is what we're going to try to implement today. We're going to have some things pop up in here that are, as always, data driven. So meaning data driven means that things are loaded in. the modules are loaded in from disk with the different kind of groupings of objects in the games or entities in the game, and they're grouped up as, I can actually show you that too here in I'm off the monitor, but I'll pull it in. So we have base.rte. If you're a Cortex Command modder, you know that base.rte RTE means it's just my way of showing the different modules. So base.rte is the main one that it contains like the basic things for the game to even run, and that will contain a lot of bread and butter entities that we need. Delete that. So in here we have some weapons that get loaded, and but this won't actually contain a tech. The break was this one. Brown coats is a tech. Coalition is a tech. So these are different modules. Dummies are the tech. Metagames is a special module that has all the saves for the metagames. Missions is another special one. Ronin is another tech. So Ronin, dummies, and Coalition, for example, should show up in this list, and that's what we'll try to get in there today. So show up in the list, you select it for each player. That player is now stuck, so to speak, with that technology for the rest of the metagame. Like, that's their specialty, and hopefully that'll add a lot of flavor to the game, where, you know, the dummy player has, you know, he plays mostly with the dummy technology, which would be the dummy actors and the dummy weapons, and they have their pros and cons and you know, whatnot. I've also been sick recently, so I'm going to be clearing my throat more than I'd like, but I'll have to live with it. And that's pretty much it. That's why it's called technology instead of faction. The third column here is obviously just the name of the, you know, I am Dan, and then my friend is Bubba, and then we have a couple of evil players, you know, AI players that are going to play against. you start the game, day 1, you'll see some sites that have been spotted on the planet that have gold on them. Like, you know, the idea is that the orbiting space station has scanned the planet's surface and found these sites that have gold on them, so let's go down and mine them. But there's different, you know, all the players are on this space station, but they're competing with each other. So that's the first phase. There's been new detected places in the second phase, so to speak, would be the first player's turn. So this is Dan's turn, as it said, and Dan is here. All you do during the turn is really, there's only 2 or 3 things you can do each turn. Is you allocate an offensive budget, or which will be to an unexplored place, so it'll be called an expedition budget. But if there was an enemy base on here, then, you know, it would be an attack budget. And it's basically, you're just from your total funds, which is 2,000 ounces, is what we started with here. You allocate how much of that you want to budget towards this expedition to establish a base on this site. So you just drag this layer back and forth. Another important thing you can do is, or that you should be considering, is scanning it. So either you can scan it now, which, you know, starts the scanning activity and shows you actually what's going on down on the site. And here we go. Yeah, it's just the idea is that this is from orbit. It's sending down. You know, we're doing some kind of, we paid for a scanning for our team, and to scan the surface of this scene, and it doesn't penetrate very far into the ground, and that's intentional. You know, like, you don't want to reveal, or I don't, as the game designer, I don't want to reveal what's going on underneath the earth to the player. It's kind of a mystery, so the player has to explore that on his own. But at least they know, like, what this surface looks like, which is a huge advantage. If you don't scan a site and you go in an expedition, it'll just be a black area, and you'll have to manually explore it with your actors, and it's really tricky and dangerous and kind of scary because everything's black. So that's a scanning activity. You just go back and you're done. So this has now been scanned. I know what's down there. I could pay for it again, but that's kind of dumb. You can also schedule a scan for later, so you don't have to every time. I realize that it's really boring to, like, just do scanning all the time for each player, so you can just schedule it for later, so when you actually do have that expedition down there, it'll scan during that activity. And that might not be clear now, but it'll be clear when you're playing it, and it'll make sense. So that's one of 2 things you can do, and the scanning is kind of a third thing, I guess. But you can allocate offensive, and you can, if I had a base here, I could allocate, or a base over here, let's say, I could allocate a defensive building budget. So, and then I could, you know, design the actual bunker I want to have built with that budget. So those are the things. I'm pretty much done now. It's just, and you can only attack one place at a time at a turn. So if I wanted to, you know, apply it over here, you say jumped over, so I only have one attack action per turn, just to keep things manageable. Each round you don't want to have, or each turn you don't want to have, like, each player doing 3 different attacks. It's going to take forever to play through each round. So each player only has one attack, and if everyone attacks the same spot, then there's only one actual battle that happens each round. Since that battle, all the players kind of converged on the same place, and that's where the battle happens. But I'm really getting sidetracked here. This is not supposed to be a demo of the campaign, but so anyway, I just wanted to. I get sidetracked, but that's fine. I'm recording the whole thing. I'm putting it up. You know, someone's hopefully going to find this interesting. But this is really where I realized that factions can be technologies, or it can just be called factions because it's too confusing with teams. So they're called technologies. We're gonna try to implement that right now. And I've already thought a lot of how to do this implementation. It's going to touch on a lot of things. If I go back to the main menu, I'll just start up a I'll show you. I'll just start the tutorial, for example. Just start any kind of. So in the buy menu, in here, this is a, well, first of all, this is a huge hassle, like scrolling through this enormous list of things each time you want to just pick some things, especially when, if you are of the coalition technology, you don't really, you're gonna very rarely want to look at even want to look at the dummy or the Ronin and all these other things. So these should get collapsed in this menu, and so this applies to everything here. So like dummy, I don't want to have that. So I'm also going to implement today that so that you can click on these. Yeah, you just click on these things, and I don't know if you can hear my clicks in the microphone, but it should collapse everything. And this menu should also be set up based on what text you have selected or that you're affiliated with. It should only show the coalition, for example, from the start, and it doesn't now. It shows everything, and it's just kind of an overwhelming list of things. So I think it's going to get a lot cleaner and more intuitive for people if there's just less stuff presented to them right away. So that's what we're doing. We're implementing that as well, and I've thought about how to do it. I've looked at the code a little bit early so it doesn't become super boring to watch this video. It'll be anyway, but whatever. YouTube is free, right? If I was paying by the minute, I would probably not be doing this. Minute of uploaded video, I mean. So, okay. Enough screwing around. Let's close the game, go into the different files that I need to. So here's actually all the files, all the source files of Cortex Command, like everything is in here. And the Solution Explorer, there's all the C++ files that go into this game. And it's everything from the managers to, you know, menu, classes, and the actual GUI library that was most originally written by Jason Botcher, I think that's how you pronounce his name. He's an Australian who I contracted to build the original GUI library, and I've modified and added to it and polished it a little bit, but he did a fantastic job getting the basic thing in there to begin with. So there's all the different entities are all up here, and you'll notice if you're a modder, you're going to recognize some of these, like the craft and crab and actor crab, actor rocket, actor craft rocket. So there's some kind of system going on here with the naming. Anyway, I've already opened some files that are going to be relevant to us. We got buy menu GUI is the main one. Buy menu, or not, it's the main. It's A1. That's the one that actually buy menu GUI controls that buy menu we looked at. Really should have the thing open, but I'm just going to start going into programming mode here, and for the buy menu we do need some more data, and I'm not even going to start. This is not going to be a tutorial on programming. Obviously, that would take forever, even longer than this video is going to be. So I'm just going to kind of think out loud while I'm working, and maybe that will be interesting to someone. I'm not going to try to explain like what a variable is or what, you know, a class is and object-oriented concepts. It's just not feasible. So I'm just going to be kind of talking to myself. But first I want to check that this recording is actually working. We're coming up on 20 minutes, and I just want to verify that this is actually recording properly and the sounds are working and all that stuff. So there's going to be a short break, and I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. So let's do this. As I said, I'm just gonna have a stream of consciousness going on, and so here we go. I mean, this is an experiment. I don't know if this is gonna be interesting at all, but let's just do it. So by menu GUI and the header and the source file is all lined up and set up here. I put some flags so I can find the different category change is a big key thing here. I'm gonna go into the game and actually run it while it's loading. I'll look at this. So this is a function that will update the list of things that you see in the game when you're buying a menu. You know, there's a buy menu. So let's see, imagine no defense, whatever, it doesn't matter. Blah. Start that sucker. Cool. So it's basically this. It's updating this list of things. And what it does first is it gets add objects to item list. It gets all this stuff based on what the category is. You know, shields, bombs, guns. It's this stuff. Shields, bombs, guns. You select one of these, it has to repopulate the whole list. So we're going to be okay. There's action in the game. Good job, guys. Good job. So let's just figure out. We need to get a new thing going here to keep track of the what is. Okay, what do I really want to do here is I want to keep track of what is collapsed and what's not collapsed of these categories or the modules. So I'm going to have some kind of index, or I think it's going to be an array or a vector of just integers. Or should I just have a fixed array that maps directly to the different modules? I think that's what I'll do. It'll be slightly more efficient. So let's make that happen. I'm yawning. Just to show how exciting this is. Where's a good place to put that? This is all the data of this class, all the members. This game is going on in the background. Actually, let's go out of the menu. So, what we're blinking. It would have to be a bool expanded. That's a good name for it. Expanded modules. Expanded. Down here we have all the GUI entities. So I'm gonna our GUI widgets. Menu enable. Menu focus. I like to keep things in a good order that makes sense, or at least somewhat grouped together. Blink mode, menu timer, that's where you're supposed. Category item index. Category count. This is good. Around here. Always write comments for everything. I like having almost as many comments as many. Yeah, I mean, I like writing out my comments in English and then writing the code in C++. So the English kind of shows my intention, and the C++ is the attempt to implement that intention in code. So I can always go back and you know, if there's a bug or something, I can go back and look through the code and see what I intended the code to do, and then I can know that intention was not, you know, I look look at I compare the comments with the actual implementation in C++, and I just see that, oh, my intention was this, but obviously, or apparently the code is doing something different, so let's fix that. If I just have code everywhere, I don't have my intentions really. I mean, it's just, I'm kind of wondering, I'll wonder what I was thinking, literally sometimes, when I was writing that code, and if there's a problem, you know, it helps so much. Basically, bottom line, it helps to comment everything, because you forget. As a programmer, you forget. 1 month later, you're done. Like, you cannot remember how you implemented something, and it might as well have been someone else who wrote that code, because you will not remember. You'll have to read it anew and to understand how it works. So I'm gonna comment everything, as you will see, and even kind of dumb, self-obvious comments, just code that is even seems like, oh, this is so obvious, I don't need to comment it. I just have a habit of habit of commenting it anyways, because I have OCD and I enjoy doing things to perfection. OCD and perfectionism is a dangerous combination, which results in 10-year projects. So, purchase made. It's not what I want to call my variable. It's going to be an array, actually. We're going to call it expanded modules, or module. That's fine for now. I can always change the name later, but the modules that have been expanded in the menu, in the item menu, item list, really. Expanded modules. This is kind of the trouble with having an array, a fixed array. It's going to be more efficient, but it's also going to set a limit on how many modules I could possibly load into the game. If I just set a really high number here, and I'd hate to just write in something like that, I'd rather do category count. Let's do, see, I always have everything as enumerations or defines. What I'd love to do is having this preset path. Preset man is up here. Preset man should have, I feel, max modules or something like that defined. Because the manager, this preset manager has, why not just define max module count 256. Love that I could type there. Don't need a semicolon. Max data module count. Should be good. Better than just writing in a constant variable over here. By menu GUI. Expanded modules. Boom! Max module count. Since this is just an array of bools, it doesn't really matter. Expanded modules, great. Search for this sucker so I can initialize the expanded modules properly in the source file. We'll do that. Over here. Nope. Ah, shit. Okay. Let's do another for loop here. Max data module count. Oops. Expanded modules. I equals false. they should all be, by default, I think they should all be unexpanded. Because that, when you're in the game, they should all be kind of closed. Dummy tech and then coalition tech immediately after. And you'd have to click on them to open them up. I think that makes sense. Great. Then what? Category index count. This is not interesting. We already initialized it. That's pretty much it. We're gonna need some accessors for setting that category index count. It's gonna be done with the expanded modules. Guess we should just, yeah, because when, okay, this is the main thing, right? This is a loadout class, this is the actual main menu, or the buy menu. We're going to do, for this, which team, what the hell, oh, okay, so, set module expanded. Sets whether a data module shown in the menu item menu should be expanded or not. This will be used by the activity when things are starting up. It'll set the tech. I'm foreseeing that it'd be more intuitive for every player to have their tech module expanded in the menu, in the buy menu, because that's their tech and they're going to use that the most, so why not have that open already for them. So this is how the activity will actually do that. Sets whether a data module shown in the item menu should be expanded or not. The module ID to set as expanded. The argument is whether it is expanded or should be or not. It doesn't need to return anything. Set module expanded. Int which module? Boom. Bool expanded. And this might even be it, and I think so. It's an inline function. Expanded modules. Expanded. Super. Such module expanded. I think that's it. Should do it. I mean, I could do some bound checking on this, but screw it. Okay, fine. If which module is more or equal 0 and which module is less than, what do we call this, stupid? Max data module count. Then that shit can happen. Okay, good. Fabulous. We have now set that up. Now let's actually, that's just the data, now let's actually make it have an effect. Do that in here, and it'll be if it's going through the different modules. If it's the first, if it's not the first one, it's going to show. Okay. This is adding every module separator. It's actually this thing, right? That's adding these. Dummy, coalition, and then adds the things in between. Should edit it. So, data module. Module ID equals 0, so it doesn't add for the first one. It doesn't say base tech or something like that, it just starts listing things, so that's why it doesn't add the first one. It's always going to add these, so I'm not adding any logic for that. But it's gonna in here transfer temp intermediate list. Okay. Only if the module is expanded. You know what? The first module should always be expanded. Always. Therefore, I'd like to initialize that. If I equals 0. True. If not, then it's false. No, that's fine. So it's always expanded there. I'm probably gonna add some logic down here for that anyway. But it's better safe than sorry. What was I? If module is expanded, add all the items within it here below. Okay, so if expanded modules, it's going to be module ID. Correct. So nice and clean. Then we actually add that stuff. So if the expanded modules is equals true, which is what this, then we will transfer from the temp intermediate list to inside or within underneath it. Perfect. Expanded modules. Or okay, this is where we add the little module ID. Or great, because module ID 0 is the base.rt, which is should always show. Perfect. Transfer from the temp intermediate list to the real GUI list. That's doing that now. Okay, great. So now we just need to add logic for when someone clicks on it. We actually click on this. It should expand or unexpand, and hide or not hide those things. So let's make that happen. I don't really know how to make that happen. We'll have to figure it out. So we're against going to get a little tricky. I'll have to think about this one. So deploy layout, there should be an update input. Here we go. This is a big ass function. So just update, or is it an update input? Yeah, just update. Okay, it does all this. Items. Menu focus is on items. That's where we need to be. Get handle. Cart order list focus. OK button. Handle events. Okay, I'll have to handle both. The event when the mouse player clicks on things, and when a controller player, a gamepad player, uses the gamepad cursor, so to speak, to mouse back and forth. The logic is a little different for each, and it has to handle both. So we events on the shop list. Yeah, it's the shop list, right? Mouse down. Okay, add something to cart. Yep. Or, haha, mouse down. If an event, mouse down. Okay, get set focus. It's getting the item, meaning mouse button down. Especially on a loadout set. That's not what I want. Normal, only add item if there's an entity attached to the item. Okay. I'm gonna have to do before this. How do I know if it's a tech or not? If a module group item group list item toggle its expansion and update the list. Alright. So it's going to be else if down here. Okay, so how do I do that? How do I know if it's a... This is where that logic needs to... This is what I don't exactly know how to do yet. I haven't figured this out yet. Item has things. How do I know the sucker is a... Does it have tech in it? Is that a way to know? Oh, they don't have... Ooh, that's good. They don't have things on the right hand side here. That would be good. Or, I don't know about good. It's not super elegant, but that might be a way to... The right text. Empty. If it's empty, then just toggle that suckers. Ooh, how do I get that ID? The ID from it. How do I know it's in which module it is? It's kind of a tricky problem. The module will be Bronco Tech, Ronin Tech. We'll have to count. No, that's not reliable. Is there like an extra way to store extra info on these things? ID, name, entity. Shit. Data modules aren't entities, are they? That would be fun. If I could just store a pointer to the data module. Data module. Data module. Jesus, where is this thing? They're serializable. Preset entry. No, it's not good, man. Shite. Item. Right text empty. So the problem I'm having here is that I don't know how to know which data module this actually is in the list. If someone clicks on this, click, 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 how do I know which data module this actually is associated with? Because it's just being put in the list with this icon and the name, and I don't know how to make the transition back from knowing, okay, someone clicked on the coalition text, so let's hide the coalition text stuff. Shit. Coalition tech. I can't just go count through them because not all these lists have all the different modules. It doesn't add empty modules in that category. So that's not reliable. Maybe the tech, the actual name here, undead. It's kind of gross. Dummy tech, coalition tech. I'm gonna have to think about this, and I'll think about it and come back. I'm gonna pause the video for now. All right, so I'm back. It's many hours later. I went to sleep, and now it's like 2 p.m. So I'm gonna pick up where I left off with some lovely piano music. I realized my music up till now was really silly, spacey music, but you know, I like spacing out, not having too much going on. Sometimes I go with really intense music, like some crazy psytrance or something, but I will spare you of that. So I thought about this, and I think just the cleanest way is to add a variable. Remember, to the items, it's going to be a little you know, gross or ugly to do that, but it's going to be just cleaner in a way also. So let's see, we have write text. Write text is the stuff, that's where the price is written in the game on the menus here. This is the regular text, soldier light, and then write text is the 90. Whoa, my brain's about to die here. So the flashing, you see. Oh no, that's brutal. Look at him. Oh, execution. Yeah, so when the brain gets hurt now, it flashes the whole screen red, and when it dies, it flashes white. So you really know when your brain's in trouble, because you cannot, you know, miss that kind of signal. Anyway, back to this. So write text is where the price is. I was thinking before, you know, that's how I'm going to identify the menus or the module items, but because they don't have a write text, and they're the only things in here that don't have write text, so I'll just, oh, that's a menu item or a module items, but I might just add another variable here and make it save the module number that these things are referring to anyway. Not anyway, but that they will be referring to. And I'm yawning. That's how I do. And they're fighting again. Make love, not war, guys. Write text. Selected. We go in. Go in and add. Where's the regular text? Oh, name is regular text. Blah. And I also thought of doing extra data, just like having a void pointer, but now I'm just gonna go extra jeez, what do you call this? Something generic, because I might want to use it in other menus. extra index, something like that. Special indexing reference the item is something like that. Let's see where this is initialized and stuff. Set right text set selection. I'll just do set index. Like how my header's on the left. Set right text. Set. It's a good description. I'm pretty verbose, unnecessarily verbose. Enjoying my chill solo piano music, streamed from the internets. I guess it's Counselor. Why does this need? Does not need this. This is bullshit. Send signal changed, whatever. I don't even need that. I did not write this. Extra index. Wonderful. This might seem to writing like full-blown accessors for every little thing here. It seems like a big chore, and it is. However, I also like the consistency of it and the control that it gives. I mean, you can take object-oriented programming concepts too far as everything else, but I do enjoy the benefits, and that come with kind of doing it consistently, and it's saved my ass many times before where someone's not, I know exactly how things are controlled or manipulated everywhere because I've written all the accessors, and sometimes they're not this stupid. Sometimes they're not. Most of the time they're pretty simple, but sometimes they're not, and I just enjoy knowing exactly how things are changed. Gets the extra from the item, whatever. Get extra index. This code is written by Jason Botcher. This is some of the few source files that wasn't written by me in the Cortex Command engine. It's the originally, this is a GUI thing. As you can see, it's GUI text panel. It's part of the GUI library that was originally written by Jason, as I mentioned earlier. So he doesn't write the return things, and like he did a good job aping my my code formatting standards, but you'd have to be really, really crazily OCD to do it to the extent that I do it. So I know that I notice things that are missing, so I just know that it's not really my code from the beginning, but that's fine. I just deal with it. And that's really important. I mean, like, yeah, you can have really anal standards, but you got to be able to work with other people's code and just deal with the fact that they don't have the same standards, they don't, you know, do the same conventions, and just because otherwise you're going to be a solo programmer for the rest of your life. You either a solo programmer for the rest of your life and write everything from, you know, scratch, or you deal with other people's conventions and customs. And it's not a big deal. I mean, like, if you start doing something else than camel case, or I mean, whatever, just do it. If it's write what fits the existing code base. Just adapt, because the alternative is that you just keep doggedly insisting on your own standard of, you know, an if statement, if the curly things come after or on the same line or whatever. It's just like stuff like that. Just follow whatever is already there and just end up with a consistent code base in whatever you're working on, or be a jerk. Stubborn jerk. Extra index. Let's get going here. This is taking way long. It's going to be an hour-long video just to like do the collapsible feature, which I guess is what it would take me approximately to do this normally. I'm talking more and it's making me stop, but I'm enjoying it. This is an experiment. Get extra index. So much fun. That's exciting programming right here. You set it and you get it. Anyway, get extra index. Just make sure that this extra index thing doesn't need to be initialized further or stuff like that. Right index, get right index. No. This is very simple. Add item. Yeah, I'm just gonna have this not deal with the extra index thing, because I can use the accessor to destroy it too, I guess. I mean, entity 0. How about I just add another default variable here, const int extra index -1. Seems reasonable. Okay, that's not working. Awesome. Fabulous. Okay, super. We have that extra index now pretty well set up. Now let's just take advantage of it. Gonna go back to our GUI list panel. That's not it. Add object. No, hold on. GUI by menu GUI. That's it. By menu GUI. And when we're adding these suckers, add item, we're also going to add which module? Module ID as the extra index. See that? It's our extra little variable there, or extra little parameter for adding a new item. So module ID is going to be in there, and it's going to be -1 for all other items, which is good, because now we can go add objects to list. Where's that update function again? Should have put a little flag on it. Events here. So item get. God damn it! Do we have like direct access? Why did we write those accessors? Seems like I'm using the direct. Ugh, whatever. Writing those accessors was a complete waste of time. Anyway, I'm tired. I didn't really sleep well, or sleep much last night, so it's all good. Extra index is more than or equal to 0, which means that it's not negative. Okay. Then we will do that little. This is beautiful. Okay, so we have the GUI text panel. That's not what we want. This is it. The expanded modules will be manipulated now by that extra index. Just be toggled because we want to be able to expand and unexpand. Toggle the expansion of the module group items below. Well, fantastic writing there. But yeah, we're just toggling, and we need to update. We need to do this. We need to call this category change. Even though we're not changing the category, but it's going to update. It's going to re-add everything, but without that expanded. Since I have it here, expanded modules, only if it's expanded will it add the things underneath, and that will cause repopulate the item list with the new expansion configuration. Okay, well, if I'm not mistaken, well, we need to do this on. This is for the mouse stuff. This is handling events when mouse is clicking on the list. So we need to also handle when the gamepad controller doesn't have a cursor. It doesn't have a floating mouse cursor. It just kind of has a cursor within the menu that is locked into the menu. Get handled the currently selected item, if any. Show. Okay, where does that actually handle? Cart order list focus. That's the cart. That's not what we want. It's the items here. Loop around. Press down here. List item index. Update. But what if? Get. Okay. Ah, here, face button. So, if the controller's button is pressed down, beep if there's an error. Select the craft. Okay, if menu category craft, then it handles it a certain way. Okay, here. This is what we're doing. Okay. Yes. Else if. We're doing the same. user mashed button on a regular shop item, add it or sub to cargo or select craft. User. This is also user press on a module group item, toggle its expansion item, and p item equals extra index more than 0, then we had this down here a second ago. Definitely want to make sure that item is a valid pointer before we access it. If we don't, if we just access it right here, that's the game crash. Got to make sure that this item is a real something we have in our hand, so to speak, in this pointer, before you access any of its members, or the program is going to crash. Fun stuff like that. Subtle things that will, not subtle, but I mean they're just easy error to make that will crash the game sometimes. That's why software is hard. Category change. Okay. Where were we? God damn it. Here. Boom. Doing the same thing. Alright. Well, if I am not mistaken, we're going to compile this. Okay, well, let's see what happened here. Why is that not defined? It's in preset man. Why is preset man not? Well, there's nothing included here. Well, that makes sense. You know what? I'm just gonna do an ugly thing here. I don't want to make this dependent on. I don't want to make this dependent on the preset man. By menu GUI. Wait, this I can make. This is fine. Preset man. I didn't want to make this the GUI text panel. That's a part of the GUI library, which is supposed to be pretty independent of the rest of the engine. By menu GUI is not independent of the rest of the engine. It's very dependent on the rest of the engine. So I'm just gonna go and add another dependency right there. Not worry about it. Don't worry about it, man. Extra index. Well, you're hurt the jerk. Index. Excuse me? Did I not? GUI text panel? It's not even the right panel, dude. GUI list panel. Oh god. Seriously, I added these accessors to the wrong frickin'. Beautiful. Yeah, that's why I was confused. I saw these. Set right text. Where's right text? I searched on right text and I saw it down here. Get right text, draw a line. Right text. Yeah, GUI list panel doesn't even have accessors for that thing because it's so trivial. Okay, let's just delete this and forget it ever happened. Actually, let's just undo everything, because then I know. Wow. I feel like a retard. That was really embarrassing, actually. Anyway. Great. Can we just build this sucker? Seems to go a little better now. Okay. Come on, come on, come on. Don't have all day. Yeah, we're up to an hour of video footage now. It's probably the most boring hour you could probably spend on even YouTube, which is saying something. But who knows? Maybe someone will enjoy it. Yeah, I mean, I'm making a total klutz of myself in this, code. I don't really care. You guys can judge. I don't care. It's gonna be. I used to care a lot about, like, if someone read this code, it's got to be beautiful and it's got to be perfect. I don't give a shit anymore. I just care if it works and if I can maintain it easily in the future. I'm very pragmatic these days, or try to be at least. That's why I don't have a problem just throwing up this and my half, sleep-deprived programming session. I'm not accomplishing a whole lot in an hour, but this is a feature that people have been asking for a long time, and it's something that I've actually intended to put in for years now, and now I finally did it. And it's going to be it's going to tie into the metagame where the tech that you have is what will be presented to you as a as a metagame player. You're going to have that tech associated with. Oops, I need to close the game, or I get this error that he cannot write to the executable because the executable is running. It's fun. What the hell is this BS? Unresolved. Add item. What? This is some serious. Why not? Const and extra index. Let's go to this panel. Not text panel, just gonna die in a fire. Extra index. This is there. Do I need to rebuild everything? How boring. Combo box object. Where's the combo box object? Let's just see if I can get away with rebuilding this only. Or relinking it. If I rebuild just that object, then it relinks. Maybe it'll. Seems like it's working. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, now. Run! Let's test this sucker out. Play tutorial. Well, if the buy menu, haha, look at that. They're all collapsed to begin with. You click on it. Click! Oh, it's beautiful. Click, click. Amazing. I would almost call that a success. Yes. Let's see if it's going to be like really confusing when you open and close these things. Like undead or how does it work with the scrolliness? If you're down and you I don't know if that's confusing or not. Coalition tech. I guess it could do well, I don't know how it would do an animation of it adding or removing things. Really weird how it's selecting a different... Oh. Okay. Yeah, I go to bodies, and we have the bodies that were loaded in the base. They're always going to be visible because there's no like thing to click on for them because they're the base tech. But if I have coalition tech open and I go to here, to different, all the coalition tech modules will be open only, which is exactly what I want. That's pretty sweet. I like it. There's this weirdness when I click on them. The cursor jumps over here. I don't know if you noticed that, but it like blinks over to tools or this category or this kind of like grouping of things. I'll show you what I mean. If I go back and go into campaign, or no, actually, don't want to do that. Whoa. Scenario battle. I want to test this with the Xbox controller. So I'm now messing with the Xbox controller, and see how there's no mouse cursor now. It's just up, down. When I go left or right, it just jumps between the different menu categories, kind of. The cursor is locked into the menu. So now I go coalition tech. That's great, but I want, you see how it opened fine, but it jumps over to the other, to guns, which is not what I want. So when I have this, I just click it, it jumps over. No good. I need to fix that. I probably did that for a reason before, where it selects, reselects, let's see, it does that. Item list focus. No. Where are we at? Category change. Here. Clear list. Great, great. See. List item index. Oh. Category item. Where is that being set? Item map. Okay, this is. I'm gonna change my music. Works. Menu category. Category selection state. That's probably it. Sets. That's not it, actually. It's gonna be last list now. Menu category is the different bodies and whatnot. It's not that. It's change of link mode. Menu enabled. Visibility state of each menu. I'm kind of spacing out here. Link mode, start timer. I mean, this is pretty typical. You get really close to where you want to be. Like you implement something, and then there's like just quirks that you need to iron out. Like it works. Like this is 90% there, but this jumpy shit needs to be addressed, because this is super confusing. Like, why is my cursor moving when I'm just expanding something? So I'm thinking also of putting a little. Okay, my mouse cursor is not showing up for, at least for me. Maybe it is in the recording, but next to that where it says dummy tech, I'm thinking of doing like an arrow down when it's expanded, and an arrow to the side maybe when it's not expanded. Maybe I'll just do plus or minus. That would be easiest. On the left, where those prices are, that's where it would be like a plus or minus sign when it's expanded or not. It would be a little more visually, I guess it would just make more sense visually that, okay, I expanded that category. So because now it kind of like, boom, like what happened? I mean, that made sense, but like I'm playing with this and I see that it might visually be kind of confusing when there's like a really long list that gets expanded. Boom. Boom. Alright, well, let's figure this thing out. B button. It's definitely in here. Menu enabled. Menu focus. Focus state. Okay, where's the focus state? Set button, categories, items. This is it. Menu focus. That gets changed. Try purchase. Okay, so buy. Hang on a second. Sets buttons. This is being changed a lot. This is the variable that actually is items list. Okay, items, menus. Okay, great. Focus. What? What's not happening there? Items. Press down. Temp lists. Category. Oh, this is it. Menu category. There's something in here that does that. Add presets to item list. Yeah. Category tabs. GUI tab. Set focus. I think this is what's doing it. Set check. Because these are the tabs. When I do one of these numbers, it jumps over to that. I think I'm going to have to add a variable here. Category change. To the because I'm kind of using this category change in a different way as it was intended. I'm just refreshing it in the same category. This was only for switching categories before, meaning categories being the bombs and guns and like when this happens, it needs to repopulate this list, right? So every time I switch a category, it should repopulate the whole list, and it should remain on focus on the category that I came from. That is not the case anymore. I'm using this function to just change the list. Boom. And it's and in that case, I should not be switching the focus back to the category because it's really confusing. So we're gonna category change. Cool. On category tabs. This will be true by default. The shop list I want to clear. Yeah. Okay. You don't want to do that if okay. Case of module group item. Yeah. Okay, category change is now going to be called with a false. Turn that toggle off in our special case. I mean, really, ideally, I would change the name of this to like category update and like have focus on category tabs. Still, it would just be a little more to it, but I'm gonna be quick and dirty here. Where's the other one? Category change. It's up here by here. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, let's try it out. Gotta rebuild this sucker. Close the game first. Rebuild it. Fortunately, we're only building one menu. A lot of other things are using this by menu. Activities and whatnot. They all have to be rebuilt because we're changing the header of the by menu. How's this music? It's not too bad. Very spacey. Test first to the mouse control. Gotta test it all. Oh yeah. It's doing it. It's doing it. Or it's not doing it rather, which is what I want. It's just not jumping over. Ronin Tech. Dummy Tech. Yes. 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 Yeah, let's do that plus minus thing. You see it's not jumping over here. It's staying, these yellow lines are staying here. Just telling me that it's going to do that for the gamepad too, but I'm gonna test that. But first, I want to add a little plus minus goodness. Where is it? Down here. Ha. The module ID. It's gonna be whether it's expanded or not. This is kind of fun. Whether it's expanded or not, we're gonna. So if it's expanded, there should be a minus sign, because on the right, because that's what will happen when you click it. You make it smaller. If it's not expanded, it should be a plus sign. Hotness. Oh man, we got a hour and 20 minutes going on the clock. I love it. It's a lot of fun. This is one little feature, guys. This is what it takes. This is what it takes. So every time you guys are wanting of a feature, you ask me for a feature, you're asking me to work very focused for hours. So I appreciate feedback. I do like hearing what is good, or what is not good, and what you'd like improved. But realize it's a kind of I have to really manage. I have to really think about what I'm spending my time on. So this menu we're gonna have to update as well. Same changes. It's a different, completely different. This picker. It's when you're editing scenes or building bases. This thing is down for an it's due for an overhaul too. It's kind of clunky to build bases with this thing. I don't like the way you have to. These categories suck. They're actually just the groups and so on. Let's just start this. I need a place to brain, but now we can mess with this. Yeah, look at that little plus sign. It's a little plus and minus. It's a lot of fun. Plus minus. It's a minus now because you click on it and it makes it smaller. Yes, that's kind of cute, right? Tech minus. Fun. Coalition tech. That's cool that it, yeah, I mean, that it turns into two. Coalition is a long word. Coalition tech, and then plus that plus sign, especially when that scroll bar appears. It's good that it does two lines instead of that is just one of so many small details that goes into GUI programming, but it would very easily have just coalition tech right all over that plus sign or into the scroll bar or something like that. I mean, it's, you gotta take into account all that stuff, and it's just so many details. We're getting owned. We're getting owned by these fools. Boom! He's got a grenade launcher. Yeah, it's painful. Painful. Yes. Well, I'm happy about the menu. I'm gonna go in and make sure that the game controller also works the same way. Oh, what fun it is to, I'm not gonna start singing. Don't worry, guys. Do not want me singing. Oh, it's beautiful. Even the cursor stays selected on the same spot, even though we're refreshing the whole list. That makes me very happy. I'm taking that into account. Oh yeah, Ronin Tech. It's a little weird how it like bonk bonk, but at least the cursor's in the same spot, so you're not completely disorientated. That's pretty cool. Might have to add like some sounds for it. Is there sound? I'm trying to hear if there's sound out of it. I don't know. Anyway, I think that's it, guys. I successfully implemented a little tiny feature, a little tiny GUI feature, which will be important when someone plays this as a specific faction or a specific tech. They will have this. It'll be open to begin with, so it's not so overwhelming. You're like, okay, these are the things I can. And if you do open up something else, it'll be really high prices. So like, you don't really want to do that. I mean, unless you really want to do that. But it's kind of neat. And this is especially useful, I understand, with mods. I mean, some mods just have tons of stuff, and you don't want that making your list mega long, which it has in the past up till now. This is sexy. It'll just be a list of the different, and the mod will show up, and it'll be manageable. You just click on it if you want to mess with it. Alright guys, so that's it. This has been a really long video. I'm going to be surprised if YouTube's going to let me upload this in one go. Once again, I'm Dan Tavar. I've been working on Cortex Command for 10 years. It's going to be my mantra this year. It's true. Okay, let me show you that. Just I believe, yes. See these class history. Actor Human Atom is one of the earliest classes Atom created in February of 2001. This is a core physics engine source file. 10 years, ladies and gentlemen. So it's been a long haul. Haven't been working on it full time the whole time, only the last couple of years, and even then it's been on and off a little bit. Try to live life also and not be a complete computer nerd. Get out there and interact with people and have fun and do interesting things instead of just being in front of the computer. Yes, I could have shipped this a lot quicker if I had worked on this for 8 hours every day. But I also could have burnt out much easier. I mean, like, this is a big project. I'm rambling. I'm gonna stop this video. I enjoy this. I hope you guys weren't bored to tears. Like, the 2 people that will actually watch the whole thing in entirety, I mean, congratulations. Maybe you get an idea of what goes into programming a video game. It's a lot of tedious work, but it is rewarding in the end. It's also very difficult to get it to a polished level where it's really enjoyable to just pick up and play. Maybe this will give you more of an appreciation for that. It is my hope anyway. I will stop talking now. Over and out.